Well, this has got a link with Elvis, this guitar. It was made in 1977. And the link with Elvis is that it was on the planet at the same time as Elvis was. Elvis died in 1977, so there's really a tenuous link. The fact that it was in the same country at the same time is tenuous. But you know how much you can buy these? This is in excellent condition, right? There's one on Reverb selling now, Fender Mustang 1977. Not as good condition, doesn't have that special deadening strings and everything. It's got dents and paint worn and everything, and it's going for £2,200. Now that's not saying that I should have checked the sound again, shouldn't I? That's not saying that you can't get a cheaper version of it, but this is in excellent condition. I have one problem that I need to solve with it. I'm just putting this loosely back on because I should check the thing. That's the neck, and I'm going to try a couple of different variations on the neck to see what I can do with it. But anyway, let's get down to this. That's going to need all cleaned up. It's all rusty, but we'll get down to it. But I'm going to check the sound first of all to see if we got anything at all. So it's pretty good. Just it's all right. I know these have got passive pickups. The other one I had has active pickups, and I have the amp at 1/4 power to do the other amp. So I'll put this up at 1/2 power, like I normally do with all the other guitars. Switches, little bit dirty. The switches. Something feels wrong with the back one. Pickups are all working, so we don't have anything but tidying up to do from the pickup point of view. Well, look at all that later. Okay, right, so the electrics is pretty much working but needs some work, and the pickups are a mile away from where the strings should be, but we'll worry about that a little later. Strings off. And I'm going to keep these strings. Again, I'm going to do them in the ultrasonic cleaner. Too expensive to waste strings. Now this is an iconic little guitar, because this is the guitar that made bass guitar playing really popular, because it was a nice short neck that everybody played in the bands in those days who were playing in the bands, and they didn't want to have the big long things sticking it, you know, the big long basses that you need arms like a giraffe to get reach to. Both the strings came off, but they came off with the cups in the end. But that's okay, because I'm going to take the cups out anyway. Now this is going to be a restoration, not a repair of any sort, because this guitar is worth money as it is, so you don't want to change it. You just want to get it all sort of brought up to scratch a bit, you know, and more playable. Now let's bring you down to see the neck. Let's bring you down to see the neck. The neck is naked now. The naked neck. I'll take you right down. You can see what the problem is. The gloss has come off the edges. Theoretically, could leave it like that, and I still might leave it like that. Let me just check the neck, the fret leveling. Yeah, a couple of frets there and down at the bottom are not lined up properly. Did I keep you off that? Did you see less than what you expected to see of that? I'm sorry. Right, so that looks so bad that in theory it nearly could be taken off, sanded, sanded down to the natural ash wood there, or maple wood that would be, yes. But I don't know. I'm going to look at it and see. It's a bolt-on neck. Very good condition, that neck. So let's get these off as well. Good. It's looking pretty good, isn't it? It's looking pretty good all around for a almost 50-year-old guitar, made in USA Fender. I'll tell you more about that and show you a picture of the factory it was made in. People are still wanting these. Wonder how. I don't know if I can get that off because I think that's just gone right through the. I think that's going right through the covering, but. The maker, see who he is now. What I should have just quickly done here. So let me just see how we are. No, it's very good. Very good. Very good. Maybe just the very slightest under, but we'll see. Now these, are they going to come off with any problem? If they're not going to come off with a problem, I ain't taking them off. Makes it easier to clean now for me. It's in very good condition. I think if you sold this, you probably could ask for $2,500 for it, I think. Even with the neck like that. Bone nut. Right, let's get down to the electrics because everybody wants to see it. You all want to see inside the electrics, don't you? Georgia girl is in her pink basket snoring away. So, the electrics will be there. I just hope that this is a 1977 Fender that hasn't been worked on electrically anyway, because they're very nice guitars. Yep, that's pure. That's pure Fender all the way. Very much so. All the wiring. Lovely. And it's got a brass plate at the bottom, screwed to the base, earth to it, and an earth wire going to this. So what I will do is I'll take these pot covers off. Now the inner of the pot might be a problem. The inners of it might be, because it's loose. But that's, I don't want to change it. I think we just let it go, and the brass plate at the bottom. Very good. Now, you know, it's an awful lot of work, but I'm going to do it with the electric machine. Don't use electric on your guitars, boys and girls. Are you excited? Nobody's seen under this since 1977, so you're the first. Look at the color it used to be in 1977. Can that come round? No, it can't quite. There's the pickups. They've got markings on them, and they're out of focus. Have they got markings on them? But the board has got markings on it. It says S707352 Fender. So I like the look. Oh, go over there. I like the look of those. Got numbers on them, but I can't get underneath the bottom one. Let me just go around this side and see if I can see underneath the bottom one. Actually, we're going to have to do it this way. Where are you? Camera lens. You're not even there. Come on. Show me what you got. There's it there. Right, get in focus. Get your finger out of the way. Sorry, girl, I'm not... My finger... Oh, it doesn't show me. Let me just see. Is there anything I can do to see what the number is on it, if it's any different? There is. If I do it that way, and I put the light on. The trouble I go to for you guys. Little bit of rust there. Alright, okay. Magnetic pops go right down in. I'd like to be able to show you more than that, but wasted all that time, that precious time. And the wire's pulled out. So that's as far down as I can go. And I'm going to just video it again, close up, see if I can figure out if there's anything on those wires that 13777 is on each of them. 13777. Is that? No, it's not rust. It's what do you call it? The stuff you put on before soldering. I can't. It's gone from my mind. And there's that.
Next video, please.
That label up there. 5707315. That'll tell me more about it when I do some research on it.
Next video, please.
Yes, there's a brass plate there as well. There's a brass plate that's been, the earth's been soldered onto. That's a very good Faraday cage type aspect. Excellent. Now Georgie girl has decided it's her time, and she's up on my, and she wants cuddles. So bye bye to you lot.
Next video, please.
Well, I'm putting a couple of screws in this and putting it back together just loosely because I'm going to have to take off the neck. I've looked at the neck and I'll show you in a second with a close-up video the problem. The neck's fine. It's the finish of the neck is terrible, and I think it does need to be resprayed, but I'll show you that in a second once I put this sort of semi together again. It's going to have to come apart again later on, but that's life. There's no denying. Right, that's just loose screws on it so I can take the neck off, because the neck is probably the most important part of this to get right. Might be some information in there we need to see as well, isn't there? Excitement is tremendous here as we delve further into the neck. It'll be interesting to see if there's any markings or numbers on the neck. Sometimes the necks are made. It's amazing how nice that guitar is, really. Right, there's numbers. There's markings all over the bloody show. Let's get you down there to see it. The more, you see, that's why. Right, let's get you right down to see it. What's that? No, 10 BSP 217. There's a signature AAHX, and those are stamps. Let me look at the stamps closer up. There's nothing telling me dates or anything like that there. Manufacturing processes 36. Can't quite make it up, but there's no dates. Definitely no dates.
Next video, please.
This is going to be a difficult one to fix. Not impossible, but difficult. You see the wear marks on each side? Well, they get a little bit worse as they go down. They get more and more worn, and they're dirty dark on them, and the lacquer's coming off. Now, what makes this particularly hard to fix is that I'll have to sand that down and see what's beneath that dirty color, because it could be stained right into the wood. But I think because the lacquer's peeling off, we're gonna have to redo this neck. And I'm not the greatest at this, but at the same time, it needs something done. The wood's so worn away there. But anyway, if the owner agrees, I'll strip this neck, the top part of the neck, and we'll get on with spraying it.
Next video, please.
Well, there we are after it's been sprayed. It's not perfect, but it's smooth down the sides, and there's some work still to be done on it about sanding there. I haven't polished the frets yet, but look at the way they look. But I'm not going to polish the frets because the lacquer went onto the frets as well. Oh, I'm choking a bit today. So I want to give this at least a week of hardness, but I can't afford a week of my bench being clogged up by any guitar. So, well, I shouldn't say I can't afford it, because I don't charge for this. This is a charity event. So I'm going to put on very carefully, I'm going to put this neck back on. It actually is probably the best job I've done of spraying. Amazing. Alright, back in a second.
Next video, please.
You can see that the wood is not horrendously different from the colour, but this will darken down in time. You can buy tinted high gloss, you know, just with a clear but with a tint in it. But I saw a guy on YouTube using 3 different types, and you get either a yellow looking, or a red looking, or a brown looking, and I thought they looked horrible, because you got to put them on thick enough on these kind of guitars so you can play them. But anyway, as you can see from this, and I'll bring you down closer to show you the warts and all, where the stain of multiple years of playing has gone into the wood. You can still see that on each side, and you can see it there, right? But that's now covered in lacquer. The only way to do this properly, and I wouldn't even do that, strip the frets out, sand it down again, right down, but how far do you have to sand to get the dirt out? That is the problem. So how far? That dirt's 20 years in grain from dirty fingers and stuff like that in the naked wood. So personally, this is a great job, I think. So I'm going to put it all together now very gingerly, because I still have some work to do on the edge of this to feather in the gloss to the rest of the neck. But I don't want to do that until I'm at least a week before I do that. But
next video, please.
Oh dear, oh dear, I forgot that these all have to be hand cleaned and polished. So I'm going to go away and sit in the corner, well, over here on the bench, over there on the bench, and do that. You don't need to see that, do you? Send a petition in if you want to see it.
Next video, please.
Well, ultrasonic cleaner is doing all the little bits that needed to be done. Boy, has that done a nice job. I see some rust in a bit of places, but that's cleaned them up lovely. So let me just dry them off. Then I'm going to soak them in WD-40. This is the last of the WD-40, but I bought 6 more cans. Cost me 30 quid, and they will last me a while. Got them in CPC. They were the cheapest to get 6 cans, and that's in the WD-40 now. And then when that's finished, I'm going to dry them off and then treat them with the rust inhibitor, and then install the wee bastards like. I think, yeah. Okay. I'll come back to you when I'm installing everything.
Next video, please.
Can you tell it's all been cleaned? There might be some smudge marks or 2 around it because of the oil in the WD-40, but it's all nice and clean now, and it looks a lot better. I'm pretty convinced that this is an aftermarket piece that you buy afterwards, and it slides in and out, and those 4 screws. or just holding the plate anyway, and they use them. But I could be completely wrong, and I would appreciate it if someone would tell me, because I'm not a bass man. I'm not a man at all at times. I identify as a screwdriver. Don't use electric tools on your guitars, mate. Each one of these screw holes, by the way, has been updated with a little bit of wood in it to make it a bit tougher, because they have been there a long time, and I wanted to make sure the screws would grip. So I made a point of doing that. How much I tighten these down depends on how much the pad touches the string. So if it ever breaks, well, then we'll worry about it. But it's working without crackling and everything. It just moves about a bit. So now that's on. That's on. Just put these on again. Tone. Now, I figure that the right way to put these switches on is so that you can see the tone, the word tone, not other people. So the tone should be pointing up at the person playing. So it's not a big deal, but at least when you're looking down, you can see the word volume and tone on it. So that's my theory, and maybe there could be a whole viral internet discussion on whether the volume should be pointing down or not. What do you think? No, I don't think so. All right.
Next video, please.
As the world goes to hell in a handbasket, I'm going to put this back together again and ignore the world. I think I'm going to have to wire brush those.
Next video, please.
The neck, those marks have gone off the neck. There are some cracks around there, so that's just putting too much pressure on the truss rod. And oh, that's not meant to be there. Don't look at that. That wasn't there. You didn't see that, right? Now I'm going to put these in. These just snap in.
Next video, please.
Right, I put the first string through just to make sure everything's working. I still have to be ultra careful with that neck because I'm not 100% convinced that it's 100% dry. So what I'm going to be doing is putting the strings on, and if I play a sample, it'll only be a couple of notes. So I won't be going crazy, you know. I won't be doing huge bass runs like I usually do. How did I do that? Huh? Spot the error. Can you spot the error? I have them on the wrong way. They should be turned in that way. Right, well, I'm going to put the strings on first now that I'm in the middle of my string mood. okay, that's better. But now I have to turn them all around. And why should you suffer whenever I have to do it all? Pussycat wants a cuddle, so there's the cat's tail wants a cuddle.
Next video, please.
Okay, that's all that done. And I'm just going to give you a little rundown of it to see the neck looks better. Not perfect, but better. And it's all looking good the whole way down here too. And now I need to get it up to tune and do some intonation. Action's too low because these are too low. So I'm going to do that now and come back to you. I think probably best if I come back to you when I'm going to play a couple of notes just on my knee. Yeah, because this is going to be fiddly because I had to take them all off and adjust them, so I have to get them there. All right, okay, bye.
Next video, please.
You can see me because the guitar's long, even though it's a short bass guitar. Here is the guitar. It's looking pretty good for a 50-year-old guitar. And we'll take you down the neck. The neck's not bad. You can see outside on my... One of the things I shouldn't have done is I should have left it another week or so before I played with it, because there's a couple of fingerprints on the neck, and I just down there I must have touched them. Light fingerprints which will come off with polish, but I'm not going to use polish on this. I would suggest this sits for a month before it's played in any form or fashion. But doesn't that look like a new guitar? The back came up pretty good. It does look newish, and it's probably the best one I've seen on the in the online shopping, you know. But it sounds good. Good pickups. Let me just check that they're, yeah, I set them already. Maybe a bit low for a bass guitar. So let me just check the E string. It looks low. Yeah, that's more. Look at much more like it, love. Let me just check the. Right. Okay, that's better. Let me just check it. Don't forget I'm playing it through an ordinary amp. So, but it sounds pretty good, doesn't it? And the knob works even though it moves about. You can hear the sound difference. And everything is working, so it's... I'm playing it very gently, very softly. I'm actually not playing at all. I don't know anything about bass guitars, but that looks really nice, doesn't it? It's well worth it. I would say this is probably one of the better ones of all of them. All right, okay, say goodbye. Bye-bye, bye-bye. Georgie girl, I was playing with a laser light with her and she's exhausted now. Bye-bye, bye-bye.